Spinal cord anatomy. Vertebrae are the 33 individual bones that interlock with each other to form the spinal column. The vertebrae are numbered and divided into regions: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and coccyx.
Cervical spine. The cervical spine, comprised of 7 cervical vertebrae referred to as CI to 7I, is divided into two major segments: the craniocervical junction, or CCJ, and the sebaceal spine. The CCJ includes the occiput and the two most cephalad cervical vertebra, known as the atlas, CI, and the axis, C2. Thoracic spine. Thoracic vertebra are the 12 vertebra segments, TI to T12, that make up the thoracic spine. These structures have very little motion because they are firmly attached to the ribs and sternum, or breastbone. Lumbar spine. Lumbar spine consists of the 5 bones, vertebra, in your lower back. Your lumbar vertebra, known as LI to L5, are the largest of your entire spine. Your lumbar spine is located below your 12th chest, or thoracic, vertebra and above the 5 fused bone that make up your triangular-shaped sacrum bone.
Sacrum spine. The sacrum is a shield-shaped bony structure that is located at the base of the lumbar vertebrae and that is connected to the pelvis. The sacrum forms the posterior pelvic wall and strengthens and stabilizes the pelvis. Coccyx spine. The coccyx is the very bottom portion of the spine. It represents a vestigial tail, hence the common term tailbone, and consists of 4 or more very small bones that are fused together. The coccyx articulates with the sacrum bovit through a vestigial disc, and is also connected to the sacrum with ligaments. Brain anatomy. The organ inside the head that controls all body functions of a human being. Made up of billions of nerve cells, the brain is protected by the cranium, the bone that forms the head. Cerebrum. The largest part of the brain. It is divided into two hemispheres or halves called the cerebral hemispheres. Areas within the cerebrum controls muscle functions and also control speech, thought, emotions, reading, writing, and learning. Cerebellum, the portion of the brain in the back of the head between the cerebrum and the brainstem. The cerebellum controls balance for walking and standing, and other complex motor functions. Brainstem. Brainstem is the bottom, stalk-like portion of your brain. It connects your brain to your spinal cord. Your brainstem sends messages to the rest of your body to regulate balance, breathing, heart rate, and more. Sudden injuries and brain or heart conditions may affect how your brainstem works. Pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is a small pea-sized gland that plays a major role in regulating vital body functions and general well-being. It is referred to as the body's master gland because it controls the activity of most other hormone-secreting glands. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is structured deep in your brain, acts as your body's smart control coordinating center. Its main function is to keep your body in a stable state called homeostasis. It does its job by directly influencing your autonomic nervous system or by managing hormones.
Brain coverings, meninges. Dura mater, the tough outer layer of tissue that covers and protects the brain and spinal cord and is closest to the skull. The dura mater is one of the 3 layers that form the meninges. Arachnoid villi. Arachnoid villi or granulations are small projections of arachnoid barrier into the venous sinus and its major tributaries. They are closely related to absorption of cerebrospinal fluid and are widely accepted to be the origin of human meningiomas. Pia mater. It is the innermost layer of the meninges. The pia mater closely covers the brain. It acts as a barrier and aids in the production of cerebrospinal fluid. Lobes of the brain. Frontal lobe. The frontal lobes are the largest lobes in the human brain and they are also the most common region of traumatic brain injury. The frontal lobes are important for voluntary movement, expressive language, and for managing higher level executive functions. Parietal lobe. The parietal lobes are located near the back and top of the head. They are important for processing and interpreting somatosensory input. They inform us about objects in our external environment through touch and about the position and movement of our body parts. Occipital lobe. The occipital lobes sit at the back of the head and are responsible for visual perception, including colors, form, and motion. Damage to the occipital lobe can include difficulty with locating objects in environment, difficulty with identifying colors, production of hallucinations.
Pineal gland. The main function of the pineal gland is to receive information about the state of the light-dark cycle from the environment and convey this information by the production and secretion of the hormone melatonin. Amygdala. The amygdala is commonly thought to form the core of the neural system for processing fearful and threatening stimuli, including detection of threat and activation of appropriate fear-related behavior in response to threatening or dangerous stimuli. Cerebrospinal fluid. CSF is a clear watery fluid that fills the ventricles of the brain and the subarachnoid space around the brain and the spinal cord. CSF is primarily produced by the choroid plexus of the ventricles with the 70% of the volume. Most of it is formed by the choroid plexus of the lateral ventricles.